The morning sun sliced through the wooden shutters, but it couldn't chase away the shadows from the night before. I woke up in a stranger's house, wearing a borrowed dress, with the weight of a lie still heavy in my heart. The night was over, but the lie was just beginning. He walked in, Jason Reed, holding 2 mugs of coffee. His farm was small, but the trouble he was in felt enormous. "Morning, Mrs. Reed," he said, trying to sound casual, but the awkwardness hung in the air between us. I raised an eyebrow, the steam from the coffee swirling like the confusion in my head. "Don't get used to it," I told him. "This Mrs. N act ends as soon as I finish this coffee." He managed a small, tired grin. "Fair enough. But we fooled the sheriff last night. That has to count for something, right?" I glanced out the window, my breath catching in my throat. Sheriff Coleman's men were riding past, their presence a dark cloud on the horizon. My voice was a whisper when I asked, "He's not done with you, is he?" Jason's jaw tightened, his gaze fixed on the riders. "No," he said, his voice low and firm. "He won't stop until he's ruined me." I had made a promise to myself when I stumbled into this town. Don't get involved, stay invisible, keep moving. But looking at Jason, at the quiet determination in his eyes, and the lines of worry etched on his face, I felt that promise starting to crack. He was a good man caught in a powerful man's web, and I was his only way out. Later that day, we walked through the town market, playing our parts, husband and wife. The charade was meant to protect him, but with every shared glance and every light touch of our hands, it started to feel less like a performance. I found myself laughing, a real, genuine laugh that I hadn't heard from myself in a long time. "You should smile more," I teased him, nudging his arm. "It makes your lie look more convincing." He smiled back, a real smile this time, one that reached his eyes. "Maybe I just need you around to remind me how," he said. And for a moment, the world stood still. Just then, a shadow fell over us. Sheriff Coleman. His voice was laced with mocking disbelief. Well, didn't know you'd finally settled down, Reed. Who's the lucky lady?" My heart hammered against my ribs. This was it, the real test. Jason didn't miss a beat. He wrapped an arm around my waist, pulling me close. "My wife, Elena," he announced, his voice steady. "She moved in last week." I forced a smile, hoping the sheriff couldn't see the way my hand trembled in Jason's. Coleman's eyes were cold, like chips of ice. He scanned us both, searching for a crack in our story. "Enjoy your little marriage, Reed," he sneered, before turning his horse and riding off. "We'll be talking again real soon." The threat lingered in the air. Long after he was gone, Jason let out a long, slow breath, his arm finally relaxing around me. "You think he believed you?" I asked, my voice barely audible. He looked down at me, and his expression was one I couldn't quite decipher. "He believed us," he corrected gently. That one word, us, echoed in my mind for the rest of the day. It was just pretend, I told myself, over and over, a means to an end. But with every look he gave me, every time his hand brushed mine, every beat of my heart seemed to whisper a different story. It was a story I wasn't ready to hear. That evening, we sat on the porch of his small farmhouse, the vast starry sky stretching out above us like a dark blanket. The silence between us wasn't awkward anymore. It was comfortable, filled with unspoken thoughts. "Why?" I finally asked, my voice soft in the stillness of the night. "Why risk your life, everything you have, for this ranch?" He looked down at his hands, his knuckles white. "It was my father's dream," he said, his voice thick with emotion. "He poured his life into this land. I can't let them take it, not for a lie I didn't even tell." There was a fierce, unwavering loyalty in his words that I couldn't help but admire. After a long pause, I spoke again, the words tasting like a confession. And now, you're asking me to live one. He looked up, and the apology in his eyes was so profound, it stole my breath. I'm sorry, Elena. I never meant to drag you into this. I held his gaze, the world shrinking until it was just the two of us on that porch, under the endless stars. Maybe, I whispered, the words surprising me as much as they probably surprised him. Maybe it doesn't feel like a lie anymore. The air crackled with a new kind of tension. Soft, romantic music seemed to rise from the chirping crickets and the rustling leaves. He looked at me, his lips parted as if he was about to say something. Something that would change everything. But then, just as quickly, the moment was broken. He stood up abruptly and walked away, disappearing into the darkness of the night, leaving me alone with the echo of my own words. I told myself I didn't care, that his rejection didn't sting. But as I sat there, watching the empty space where he had been, my heart knew the truth. The pretending had already begun to hurt. Thank you so much for watching part 1 of this story. If you're as hooked as I am and want to find out what happens next to Jason and Elena, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. You won't want to miss part 2, The Pretend Wife. We'll see you in the next video.